When last we left our heroes, Danir the Catman Wizard, Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, Asmo the Sneckman Fighter, and Nara the Drow Sorceress, they ventured to the west in an attempt to save the besieged tribe of skinwalkers that Wolfgang's deceased spouse had once belonged. With injuries abundant among their pack, and a few dozen of their women and children still missing, our heroes headed into the desert to track down those who were still missing before they could be found by Needhog's pursuing forces. Finding themselves ambushed by said forces, as they tried to burn the shapeshifters out of a series of caves, our heroes found that their years of administrative work may have dulled their senses for battle, as the well-organized lizard folk, led by their commander, Yorick Brightscale, put our heroes through a more harrowing effort than they had expected. With grit and determination, the champions of Silver Rock came out on top, leaving only Yorick and the shifters within the cave alive. What has become of the once noble Dragonborn that would lead him to commit such atrocities against the innocent? And can common ground of helping the cursed Garrick bridge that gap? Typing intensifies. So, Asmo, Wolfgang, and Danir, as you guys from within the caves, just swamped with smoke, help to usher the scared and wounded women and children of the shape-shifting tribe out of the caves. Nara, you and Yorick continue to hide off to the side.
Yep.
Yorick doing his best to stay out of eye shot of those coming out of the caves, who are all understandably, in a sense of distress, who are like basically swarming Danir and Wolfgang, mostly Danir and Wolfgang for that matter, as Asmo, being bescaled, is still kind of tentatively looked upon as one of those creatures that tried to kill them.
Okay. Character sheet. I gotta pull up my character sheet here.
All good.
How many people did we manage to rescue, Lani?
I believe you managed to get, what did I write down? 22 at present head count.
Okay.
Now, where are we currently this second? Are we currently outside of those caves? Or are we inside the caves?
You're outside of the caves. You can still smell the smoke and whatever sort of chemical runoff was being used as an accelerant for that fire from where you are standing.
Okay.
Yorick does his best to stay out of eye shot, just kind of glancing out from behind the rock every now and again. Again, Wolfgang and Danir, you guys are just kind of swarmed and surrounded. A lot of them are grabbing your hands, thanking you profusely. There's a lot of tears in their eyes, some of which is probably from the smoke in their eyes, but a lot of which is most certainly from gratitude.
Yeah, Wolfgang would probably be doing his best to ascertain if this group of people could get ready in a timely fashion to move.
As you start to ask around, you look for some of the more mature of the group, more able-bodied of the group. They do have a few of their younger but not really adept warriors among them. They kind of take your order and start to try to organize everybody and make sure they have a proper head count while you guys get a little bit of time to collect yourselves away from them. Danir, it takes a little while to kind of pry yourself away, as especially among the children, somebody of your shape and nature kind of calls to them as something that is soothing.
Mm-hmm. Given that I'm covered in fur and
a
lot of the tribe is covered in fur, yeah.
Yeah, you're an animal person. But as you guys separate yourselves, and as the mature women and younger men of the tribe try to organize everybody and make sure everybody is, ready to travel, try to get their wits about them. You do see Nara standing beside a rock, and the glinting helm of Yorick kind of glances past her for a moment and then sneaks its way behind the rock.
Okay, so this was... You said Yorick was behind a rock?
Yes, standing near Nara.
Asmo's gonna walk over there. Sheath his weapons, obviously. Asmo just puts his hand on Nara's shoulder. Like, are you okay?
We were just chatting about stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy with you now. I know.
Yeah.
Asmo stares at Yorick.
Yorick meets your one-eyed stare. He doesn't break eye contact with you. You're somebody that he doesn't really know, but he respects due to the influence that you had on his brother.
Yeah, that's true.
Asmo.
Yorick. To what do we have you all the way out in the desert?
This was my assignment. I was to return with either meat or labor.
Poofta. That most of your job nowadays?
He looks at you. Wolfgang, Denier, did you guys follow, or are you guys sticking back with the crowd?
Once the crowd is it seems like they're starting to organize themselves.
Yeah, it's trying to sort itself right now.
Yeah, I'll leave them be for now, and I'll go join up with the rest.
Denier would at least keep an eye on both groups at once.
So, Denier, you just kind of stand off to the side, make sure nobody wanders over there and sees that you're talking to the commander of the people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. As Wolfgang walks over, you could hear a good portion of that conversation, Wolfgang, but Yorick replies,
It feels like my job these days is making sure he doesn't turn his ire to the east, though that job is becoming harder and harder as the days go on.
I can only imagine with so many people having his ear.
Just be grateful there are many among our ranks that see you favorably. Myself, my mother, the shadow that follows her, and of course your spy.
Above game. What spy? I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that really
Wyzen?
above game?
No, not above game. That's me going. That's me. Like spy. What spy? What? How do you? I don't even know how to spell it.
So you're trying to play dumb with him?
No, I'm not. I don't even know how to react to that. Him knowing about the spy. I'm like, all right, shit. I don't know how to roleplay my way out of that.
I mean, you can try.
I'm just worried about the implication one way or the other. I don't know what that would do. I mean, he knows. If he knows, he knows, unless he's trying to fish for information. Can I insight to see if that's something he's trying to fish out of me, or
you can insight him on that.
Okay, it's just because I'm just saying.
Anybody who wants to can try to insight him at any point.
Okay.
Shoot!
Shoot.
Oh.
22.
He honestly he seems to be just very knowing. He's not trying to fish the information. From what you can gather, as he just plainly knows. What you can gather, Nara, is that he knows and he understands. Like, no, this is necessary.
Nara's eyes are just darting back and forth between Yorick and Asmo.
I don't know how to respond to you saying that out loud, but fair is fair.
He has my brother fooled. My brother is...
Can you even... Asmo's almost making a face. Like...
Is he your brother still, or is he a new person?
His face just kind of shifts. You can see like kind of a sneer go across his face, and then he looks off to the distance for just breaking eye contact with you. And
It wasn't said with hatred.
no,
by the way.
but like you can tell that you struck a chord in him as he does this, and he looks off to the side, partially wistfully, partially like regretfully.
There are times where I see the parts of him that I knew when he was young. It just seems that whatever happened to him, it amplified parts of his personality. The parts that, admittedly, he should have grown out of.
Asmo almost chuckles to himself.
I haven't seen you in so long. It's weird to even say this to you. The last couple of years we've been in, Silver Rock. I feel like I've taken part of his life, and now I'm living it.
I think part of him would have wanted it that way.
Asmo winces, because Asmo thinks about all the mistakes he's made being a police officer with a low insight roll and low investigation. He doesn't have high rolls on that. Hey, listen, that's not his strong suit, so it's just he's thinking about all the errors and shit. In the end, Asmo's thinking about how he tried to pretty much get a criminal to talk, and it took his partner, essentially, who is not the most nuanced of people, to break through, and he didn't do it. Asmo's face, it looks as human as a snake face can look, with just, he figured that's what the brother of one of his good friends thought, but hearing it just amplifies his insecurities in a lot of ways.
I'm doing the best I can, considering I'm usually supposed to be the guy who's in the jail cell, not the one throwing them in there.
I asked him about that. But he always spoke very highly of you. That you have a sense of justice that goes beyond law.
I wonder if that's what he actually thinks, or that's who he is now thinks.
That's why he looks wistfully, hearing that.
As you match his eye line, you see that he's looking off to the smoky volcanic mountain where no doubt Needhog yet rests.
That's where he's at, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
A question.
He looks back to you.
The envoys from the north.
Real quick, can I quickly quick save for this conversation?
No.
No, I've been doing that for 100 hours. That's my main character's superpower.
Nice try.
It's allowed!
Kick to menu. Load save. No.
The fact that load save is like you can access that at any time has been bad for my ADHD.
Well, not here.
Exactly. So I was just gonna.
The envoys from the north, how are they, getting along, so to speak? It's not just the one, it's several.
They're starting to get in his ear. The insect speaks of manners of which he can amplify his power and grow his ranks. And the Duergar they sent as an armorer, he's loud and obnoxious, but he creates fine work.
Does he now?
Some of the finest I've seen.
Which Duergar again? What's his name?
Calls himself Dredic.
That name is
What?
familiar.
Dredic? Dredic's helping?
You know of him?
Above game. Is that name familiar to us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met him.
You know of him.
When?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what? So how long has he been working over there nowadays?
About half a moon now.
Interesting.
Nick, when was the last time Nara saw him? Was that
It
during
was-
the Blinky incident, or?
It was just before you guys went in to fight Blinky. You guys were going to go disable the stuff that was mind controlling all the Duergar, and he fucking booked it because he was the one that was responsible for that, and he would probably have been killed on sight. In fact, most of the town still fucking hates him because of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so he got a little mixed up in some things before, and he needed a new place to go, so it kind of makes sense that he ended up with Needhog.
Was he brought with the insect from the north, or did they come separately?
He came with the insect. Apparently, he had
Came
been
with him?
working. He had been working in the north for some years.
They like each other?
They,
Yeah, I imagine the north is making some interesting allies and all. A lot of them are very, Asma just kind of goes, Duergar and insect and, talking to a dragon. It's quite an interesting collection. And I know that's rich coming from, a snake man like myself and a drow.
You may want
But-
to learn a thing from them. They're doing their best to be on his good graces.
How do you get in his bad graces exactly?
Exist, probably.
I mean, only in a way that annoys him, I'm assuming. I knew him. He was a pragmatic person, proud, strong, genuinely good dude, but prone to anger. Is the anger the thing that is being accentuated by this?
Well,
Any of his
So-
baser feature, any of his more aggressive features have been amplified by his transformation. His pride, his greed, his vanity.
Is it getting worse?
I don't know that it's getting worse, but it certainly isn't getting any better.
Once he's done here, what is he trying to accomplish here aside from ending the lives of those who stand against him?
He simply just wants control. Control
Don't
of
we all?
everything, to rule over everything by his justice.
I wish it was anything else.
Were it just the
How is-
royal family that did it to him, I would understand as a target. But I don't want the innocents to fall along with them.
No, I don't even think he would want that. Even on his worst day before all this, he would never want someone who is not directly connected to why he's frustrated to ever be touched by it.
I'm afraid that part of his
I s-
morality is lost in the turmoil.
That's why when I say I don't even know if he's the same person anymore, clearly there's a spark of who he was in there, but when I first met him, I said some very rude things to him. And I tried to sucker punch him. And he uppercut me and threw me in jail and dragged me off to go die at the border. And then made it back and honored that change. And that's who he was to me. But now,
I
being
think
okay with dead people, being encouraged to... I gotta ask this question. The second I saw you, I needed to ask. The second I heard it, I knew I needed to ask. The way they're encouraging him to increase his forces is quite situational, being that he is a dragon now. And it sounds like he's planning,
That's what making a face.
to have more of him.
I
They're
don't
planning on.
I don't know exactly what their aims are.
My question is this, because I'm not a dragonborn. I've always been adjacent to those who are of the dragon kin. Ours were swamp salamanders, snakes. It was different for us. But how can a dragon have children with anything that also isn't a dragon? Can he turn into a humanoid of some kind? Or is he stuck in his dragon form? These are all specific questions, but I haven't seen you in so long, and I haven't even thought about this. Even before, yes, I try not to think about it.
It's been believed for a long time that he can shapeshift, much like the dragons of Dragon's Rest can.
I always wondered about that.
And if that is
So-
the case, it would explain the presence of the lady that they sent, Bordish.
Yeah.
Just one,
Thought you were
huh?
gonna say that.
Just one?
There aren't exactly many dragonborn women in the north.
I wouldn't assume so. When I heard about the plan, or the inkling that they have, the optics of it was confusing to me. Because like you say, there's not a lot of dragonborn in the north. However, it's not like there isn't any, but just one. For the life of me, I was worried that they somehow acquired hundreds of dragonborn women, and that's what they were planning on doing.
Wolfgang's still there, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you just haven't spoken.
You can walk up now if you'd like.
Yeah, no, he's just sort of been listening this whole time.
So Bardiche is in Nidhogg's territory now.
Yes, she's being cared for. As far as we're aware, she is there to learn the nature of draconic blood and how it affects those that it has been passed to. I fear that it is a more nuanced reason in reality.
Is someone of his kind even capable of love anymore? Such deep emotions.
I don't
His-
think that matters.
His eyes,
Whoa.
his eyes snaps. Yorick's eyes snap to you.
If he wasn't capable of it, I wouldn't be alive.
Aswell just stares at him. It's a tense stare.
That's fair. That's fair, Yard. I haven't dealt with what happened to him well, because I'm still in disbelief about it. Thank you for your questions. Wolfgang, you want to...
It brings me to my
Ask him.
question.
He
Aswell's trying to get out of this convo, but he understands.
he-
Aswell will
he-
stay. Aswell will
he-
stay.
he turns to Nara.
You claimed you knew a way that could cure him.
She shoots a look over to Wolfgang.
Just like old future times, right?
And Yorick's eyes continue to follow to you, Wolfgang.
Wolfgang folds his arms over his chest and he strokes his goatee for a moment.
What I did wasn't exactly a cure, but
But it worked.
indeed it was a start. We got more of them out. I can flood his being with
Holy energy in such a way that it will reduce the amount of influence that red energy has on him.
It even changed his eyes back to the old color.
More of the Garrick that we knew came out, but in the brief time I had with him, it wasn't enough to bring him back completely.
Then we'll need to find a reason to get you into his camp.
That could work, I guess.
We are running low on time. He has no shortage of anger at the royal dragons that did this to him. Eventually, he will set his fire upon that city. And what happens to the dragons, I care not. They can die in the pyre that they created. I'll kill them by my own lance if given the chance.
Prime.
but I don't want to see the people of that city burn. And if there is any way to bring any part of my brother out of that cloud of madness...
Wolfgang shoots a look over to Denier briefly. He knows that Denier was heavily involved in getting Garrick to even the point where Wolfgang could do something like that. And then he thinks about the jester, and he grits his teeth. Oh, there's way more to this.
What do you need?
It's pretty messy.
Well, first of all, I need to get these people out of here and into safety. Then we can talk about Nidhogg.
Where are you planning on travel to, Yarick? You heading back to the mountain?
I will have to. I need to accept the failure of my mission. And whatever
What will he
comes
do
with
to
it.
you?
I don't know.
Well, consider this unorthodox thinking. But I don't know why they would treat you that way. Especially considering how we've, captured you.
And Asmo winks when he says it. Asmo also smirks, too.
Yarick looks at you like, for a moment surprised, but you see him kind of ponder, and very shortly.
No. You would only bring hellfire to your own doors. You would take that as an ultimate sign of disrespect. You were spotted on the way in. It's how I knew you were coming.
Well, you say this not to deny the truth of what you say. But if his connection to me and the respect for me is this way, if I chose not to slay you but instead save you, prevent you from dying, and capture you so that his physical connection to this, two of the people from his world didn't hurt each other, in fact prevented it, I would think that if what you say is true about who he is, if it's still inside there, that would be what it matters.
You said that you needed to bring back meat or workers.
You cut out a lot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you turned into a robot.
Oh, cool. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Didn't you say that you needed to bring back meat or workers?
Yes.
Nara,
If we can get these people to safety, couldn't we go work? Quotes.
I highly doubt that will... Oh, shit. As I start stroking his chin, because he can't necessarily disagree with it immediately.
If you would submit yourselves as prisoners to me, yes, that would get you into the camp. But for interfering in his operation, there would be a lot of questions.
What?
I don't-
Nara waves her arms everywhere.
Questions!
Such as...
I don't...
And he points over to the group of lycanthropes.
What happened to them? That we would be able to capture you alive, but not them.
Adam.
He
We were
shakes his
focused on getting them out.
He shakes his head.
We were focused on getting them out to the point where I saw you, and I was distracted, and that let you get the drop on us. Because of that connection. Your physical connection to this world, connection to me, gave you the advantage. I wouldn't think he'd get mad at you about that. He lost his workers, but he prevented his... what would you say? Invaders is too strong of a word. What would you say? Insurgents. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Is that good? Is that good? Nara? Does that work?
Good, yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
Good job.
I think that's
I mean-
doable.
Listen, York, if you want us to come and help Garrick, then we gotta be nearby. And if we're gonna get nearby, we gotta get in there. So,
Perhaps
um,
we're thinking about this the wrong way.
Mhm.
Going into Nidhogg's territory is not what we want to be doing. We need to draw Nidhogg out.
You think he's gonna come out of there in a good mood?
Well,
I don't think it matters what mood he's in, as long as we can incapacitate him somehow.
The only place where he would even be willing to come to is the only thing I can think of. It's further west, and it's a friend of ours. It's someone he doesn't like at all. But if there's a talk to happen, maybe, just maybe, that's where it can happen. Go good, I'm talking about if you didn't know what I'm talking about here.
You wish to use the lazy god of war as a scapegoat.
Not scapegoat necessarily, and he's more of a god of war who happens to be lazy. He's not like lazy innately, and and I'm defending a guy.
Sounds innately lazy.
That's not who he. What his family was a lot. That's what's just like you weren't there, you weren't there energy to understand.
You don't get it.
That ain't bloody true.
As just kind of scratches his eye.
That's coming from me.
Yeah, this is the thing. Me and Wolfgang don't always agree on everything. If anything, we're quite opposed on some things. On this one, we will. Asmo, without even looking at him, just shakes his hand.
He shakes his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like unified, and there's no, like this is the reality. Is Dogan's actually pretty damn good, even if his upbringing didn't really allow for him to have a more respectful take on what power is. But maybe one could say that the one who has the power is the one who's not expecting it, and maybe that's what makes it work. And as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't been defeated yet either. So.
Before we talk anymore, just because the sun's out and I don't want bugs to get all over him, do you need the bodies of these dead guys?
He looks to them.
No.
Okay, great, because my baby is probably very hungry because we've been traveling for a while, so I wanted to make sure he had a snack.
And she will just take off over to where all the dead bodies are and like take off anything that might look valuable and then start swooping them into the parallax.
Whatever happened to that ring thing?
Oh, I stopped using it. Well, I still have it. Asmo kind of holds up the hand where the ring's almost facing downwards into his hand. You never know when you might need to make something disappear. It is a rare ability, but just because you don't need it doesn't mean you can't use it. And maybe that's what Doggett is. Besides, like you say, would it be wiser to drag Doggett out? Would it be wiser to try and have this conversation out of his domain or into his domain? You're right, actually. I agree. Out of his domain would make more sense. But if we go to his domain, we'd have more access to these people who are, as you say, Yarrick, in his ear. And I need you to be honest, this is dangerous, the things they're saying in his ear, yes? Your mother and you don't approve.
They are fanning the flames of his less than charitable influences, yes.
Nick,
Yes.
as I am removing anything that may look valuable off of all of these lizard folk, does Nara find anything?
Go ahead and give me a survival check.
11.
They don't appear to have the really good shit on them just yet. The stuff that Yorick claims is currently being crafted. But, I mean, you find some, decent quality, iron daggers, nothing of, any great value. They don't seem to be a society that, carries, holds money in very high esteem. Any sort of money or, treasure tribute probably goes to Nidhogg himself.
Got it. She would probably give any weaponry over to the women and young men in the group of here you go.
Yeah, distributing what you can, the tower shields and stuff, which are typically too heavy to carry. Probably too heavy for most of the people in the tribe to carry as well.
She would probably turn them into sleds for the kids. If the kids are in a sledding down the side of the thing mood after a bunch of people died. I don't know.
Probably not. They're a bit traumatized, very tired.
Maybe the sick
By
or
the
injured
time-
can be moved on them.
True.
That's true. Yeah. But as they're figuring that out, Nara will probably just get on a tower shield and slowly come down the hill to meet back up with them.
That's probably going to take you a few minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. As you do that, Yorick, who's also pondering that idea of luring him out.
We would need to be able to blame one of the other tribes. The orcs are a likely source.
Oh, to circle back to another idea, because I feel like we all have the make pieces of a bunch of good ideas here. You say his anger would be strong if you were captured, correct?
Yes. He would take that as a shot against him. A form of ultimate disrespect.
What if we communicated with him that we have you, and we're using you to get him to come out and talk? And we've stopped you from... and you refuse to speak and say nothing. And your safety's protected, essentially, while we get what we want. Now, he'll be mad at you, but also we'll be frustrated because we can't get out of you what we want. That might mitigate it. As far as I'm concerned, we got to get him out of that place, and the best way of doing it is standing right in front of us, as long as you're okay with that risk.
Do you understand what you're risking?
This entire debacle. All of this.
Asmus just turns to Denier, seeing Denier interacting with all the people, seeing, seeing her give all the food away and everything. It's looking at Wolfgang.
Wolfgang, what are you thinking here? I may have fun ideas, but you got good plans.
Well, there's another factor on top of all of this that we need to take into account, and we need to take it into account seriously. The Jester of Bordeaux will make his move.
Now, Jester Bordeaux has been trying to get into that volcano, yes?
His ultimate goal is to essentially take control of Nidhogg's body and
Well,
mass destruction. Doesn't care about ruling anything, just wants to destroy.
We were
Some
warned
people just
about
wanna
that
watch.
one by the emissaries from the north as well.
yes, that gentleman in question, the Jester Bordeaux, doesn't really have any friends anywhere for a reason. Well, the long and short of it is, if we so choose to take you with us, it would drag Nidhogg out. He'd be mad at you. Also,
He would not
I don't
be
know.
mad at me. Well, he would be disappointed that I was taken prisoner, but to my captors, he would likely kill on sight.
We
even
need a
me,
way
huh?
to get him. We need a way to get him on the ground. Keep him there. Wonder if there's some sort of spell that would prevent him from moving around too much. Then I could get in.
A little ritual.
I don't think anything would be little about it. This requires some more planning. I don't think it's going to be something we're doing while we're here. I'm hurt. Nara's hurt. Denier likely running low on energy. This requires more thinking, more coordination.
It does.
And you're running out of time. As it stands, I see you have 3 options. Option 1. Get on his good side. Placate him. Offer him things. Treasures. Things of value. Play to his ego. Option 2, and this is the one I prefer. Find a way to cure him. And option 3.
The worst one.
Kill him. But know that if you choose option 3, you should kill me right here and now. Because I will not hold back. I will defend my brother to my dying breath, no matter what he's become. I owe him that.
I understand. I think we would only choose option 3 as an absolute last resort.
He nods.
There was something. I need to talk to Denier. He'll know.
If I may offer some advice, on your way out, choose a different route. Likely my remaining forces lie in wait as an ambush.
Appreciate that. These, people who are in Nidhogg's ear, do they have names?
The bug is called Kaitaron.
Hmm.
And then there is
And-
Bordish. And
Dishes.
while he does not have much to say, the other one is Dredic.
And they're convincing him to be more violent?
I wouldn't say Bordish and Dredic are. Nor
Kaitaron.
necessarily is Kaitaron. But he is fanning the flames of my brother's ego in a way that he would be more confident in his future attacks. All of them are providing things that he desires, things that make him more comfortable attacking better armed forces, such as those to the east. I have no doubt that the North has some enmity toward the dragons in the south. And if they convince him that they are a common ally against a common foe, it may embolden him.
Wolfgang sort of strokes his chin at the prospect of being angry at the dragons.
He does a little think. Wonder if we could convince them to help make up for their mistake.
That is a conversation for you to have. I'm afraid after all they've done to my family, I wouldn't want to speak with them again. Though I'm surprised you are after what they've done to yours.
Nah. I've got bigger problems than that nowadays. If we can use them to help solve this problem, that would be a great benefit. I'll see what I can do. Like I said, we need more time to think about this, time to prepare. Denier can probably be in contact with you about the better details.
He nods.
One more bit of advice.
Hmm?
If I know you have a spy in our ranks, odds are those in the north do as well. They have a mind reader. One that can the way they read a soul is different than any diviner I had met before.
Sounds like the little lad's teacher.
Able to, like, change things, too?
I don't know the extent of that one's power.
Oh, it's not good. I tell you that.
So long as you're aware.
Well, Asmo, I think that's your call on what to do on that situation.
This is the worst time for you guys to cut out. What did you say?
You're talking about your spy that's in Nidhogg's camp and how it's probably only a matter of time before he gets sussed out.
Oh, he's been sussed out by the North.
Ah,
But nobody's spilled the beans on him yet, so.
This is a political quagmire. There's a bunch of colliding forces in this court of his, and this North can't overplay its hand too quickly. I guess above game, but shoot.
Do you want to
I
pull
really
your man
do.
out or try and stick it out?
Shoot, I don't know how to answer that. Actually, above game, I don't know how to answer that. Actually, I got no answer for that yet right now.
You pull them out at this point, they're already gonna know that, well, wouldn't they then know that you know that they know?
Unless we got him in a prisoner exchange.
Feels worse somehow.
No, there's no right answer. I'm gonna have to think on this.
Just gonna sit back and not do stuff right now?
I don't know what to do. Now knowing that my spy might die, I don't even know how to contact him. We're not going to the camp, so I don't know how to tell him that.
Again, you could probably ask Denier.
But if he just leaves, it'll be obvious what has happened here. That's the problem. If he leaves, they'll just, like, go, shit.
As we're just kind of like, Asmo doesn't know what to do. He's conflicted. So,
Well, you don't have
The
to do anything
Northerners,
now.
have you
okay,
met?
good. I don't
Right.
know if I have to make a decision right now. If I don't have to make a decision now, I'll come back to this conversation later.
Just probably before too much time elapses. You might-
Before we get into Act 4, obviously this quest will skip over if that happens.
Bro,
You know,
we're
we
on
can't do
Act
that.
5. It's just,
Ah,
Yeah.
shit! We're
Yeah,
DLC.
we
We're
in
DLC,
it.
bro.
This is already happening.
The world is teetering on anything going over the edge. Anything could happen.
the sands in the hourglass are falling. The water has created a meniscus atop the glass.
And so are the days of our lives. Wait. Well. Suppose we got a lot of stuff to think about, as per fucking usual.
I love meetings.
So I guess we'll see you around, Yorick?
Likely sooner than you think.
Yeah, probably so.
As I said, you were seen on the way in. Your descriptions have likely made it to my brother's ear by now.
Is there a chance that he knows that we've talked? You don't think he'd send spies to watch you, would he?
He pauses for a moment.
I don't believe he would, no.
But the Northerners might, if they're talking in his ear as much as they are. We'll give them leverage over you.
I think they know where my loyalties lie.
Yeah, with him, but... Oh, guess we'll find out, huh?
There's a groan. Ugh.
Whatever you plan to do, plan it quickly.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to learn, whatever preparations you need to make, see that they're done.
Righto.
Yorick scoops up his pack from the ground and slings it over his shoulder.
I should leave before I cause any commotion among the survivors.
Yeah, they're probably not a big fan of you since you were trying to enslave them or kill them and stuff.
He nods.
I suppose that wouldn't endear me to them, no.
Nah.
And before he walks away, he looks to you once again, Asmo.
He is still in there.
And then he turns and walks.
Asmo just says to himself, and so the others around him can hear as Yark's leaving. This isn't so Yark can't hear this. This is the ideal volume.
For God's, I hope that he's right. I really do.
He is. He is in there. I've seen it myself. It's just a matter of, can we bring him out?
And you are left with the refugees. They appear to have all kind of gathered and lined up. Daenerys, you've probably been helping them, like supplying those who need it with water and such.
Absolutely. Letting them know the game plan, explaining to them what's going to happen, explaining to them that we've got everybody at the Wandering Weasel ready to go. Their families are already there. We have mages ready to get them out to safety, and we're going to be taking them far, far away from here.
They're still timid. They're still timid about the journey through the desert, but.
And I will also burn a 3rd level spell slot to cast Sending to Red Screech and let him know that we have successfully rescued 22 and we are on our way back.
He would reply, "That is wonderful. Thank you."
And he would generally make sure that everybody is good to go while the conversation is still happening.
Right. And sure enough, among their injured, they have been laid down on some of those tower shields, and some leather straps have been affixed in order to turn them into makeshift sleds. And you begin making your journey back. It's a lot harder than on the way in, as transporting this amount of people on foot as opposed to being on steed is much more difficult, especially in the late afternoon sun of the desert.
How long of a walk back would it be to get to the Wandering Weasel?
It took you several hours to get here on horse, like on basically camelback, which was traveling at probably 5 times the speed that you're traveling now.
I got an idea, guys. Asmo just snaps his fingers. Do you think we could hook up some of those spectral steeds to that thing? And Asmo points at the wagon.
Which wagon?
Well, the wagons we walked past when we first were, like, when Asmo was like, those wagons down the road.
You mean the one with the lizard man ambush that you were warned about waiting around it?
Well, we just fought the lizard man ambush.
No, he told us about another one that was going to be waiting there.
Yeah, the remnants.
We
of
fought
his
one,
forces.
yes, but what about second Lizardman ambush?
Yeah, what about second ambush?
And
So
Levensees.
Or
I hate
It's gonna
more
be-
me.
It's going to be hard to transport them, correct? Is that what the situation is?
It's going to
Yeah.
take you significantly longer, yes.
Oh. Well, why
Also-
don't we just stick him in with a little ass? He's full. He just ate like 12 lizard guys.
I don't. Just.
I'll go sit in them with them, and you
that
guys
sounds
can
better.
just carry it.
Okay.
I like that plan better, actually.
That's not that terrible.
He wouldn't eat them probably. But I'll sit in there. Fine. Okay, happy?
Narrator, he would.
You know what? Maybe I should
What?
just take him for a walk. Then they can all sit in there.
How about they all sit in there and you hold on to them while you're running, little ass? God damn it.
That's just kind of like pinching his nose bridge.
He
Yeah, I
has
think so.
been in the parallax for so long, and it's so hard to take him out far enough in the woods where he's not going to eat something or be too near to the town.
So you're
I'm gonna do
planning- Okay, so you're gonna take little ass out, put the people in, and ride little ass.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, do we want a member of the party in there with them to keep them calm and potentially?
Sounds like you signed up.
It's a perfectly safe space. It's probably just littered with dinosaur shit, but
Nara will point the parallax away and just like a bunch of chicken bones, lizard bones, and corpses, just like, definitely done eating things, just start ejecting out of the parallax.
sure enough, as you tilt it and will all of that stuff out, piles upon piles of dinosaur feces, lizard bones, chicken bones, discarded feathers, few half-eaten cows that just didn't agree with him well, goat bones, just all sorts of bones just come flying out of this, and you are a bit of a spectacle to the crowd of people behind you.
Wow. That is one big pile of shit.
I don't like cleaning very much, okay?
Aswan just
Solomon
turns-
didn't exactly teach me about that.
Aswan just said, "Yeah, it's true."
So we good?
I guess we're good.
I'm gonna get him out, and we're gonna have a little chat, and then... Asma, you can stand with him because I know he likes you, and then I will put everybody inside, okay?
Okay.
And she runs off down a little bit further so that little ass can't see all the people.
It doesn't immediately go to eat them.
Exactly. And then gets him out.
With a thwoomp, your dinosaur, little ass, pops out of the parallax, starts immediately sniffing the air. You see sand swirling in the air, goes in his nostrils. A large cloud of sand storms up around you as he sneezes.
Hello?
He kneels down, he kind of bends down towards you. His tail starts wiggling. Does a couple of stompies.
You and me are going to go on a walk, okay? And
does-
she
He does a little
Does
hop.
charades.
Yeah, does a little hop when he hears the word walk. Stomps around in a circle.
I'm sure the refugees were screaming as the ground where.
Their eyes are certainly wide. A few of the children are terrified, but ultimately the group itself, they trust you. But this appearance of a giant dinosaur that is now apparently dancing is a bit of a spectacle.
So, these people, Mommy's friends, okay? They're going to sit in your room while we walk.
Animal handling.
12?
You point to the people. Little ass looks at them. You can see little ass's eye dilate and then constrict. You see a little drool forming around his mouth.
No. No eat.
His nuzzle is trying to move past you as you kind of as you hold your hand up to his nose.
No eat. I will give you 5 cows if you do not eat. Deal?
Animal handling again?
Daenerys is motioning for the group of survivors
Oh my God.
to huddle together,
Nat 1.
and
Lil
he
Ass-
is pushing himself back to it.
Lil Ass does not understand the idea of what is it? Delayed reward.
Got it.
So he just kind of noses past you. Stomp, 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 stomp.
Lil ass, you stop right now.
Oh, you're using your mommy voice. Animal handling with advantage.
Me.
8. He
But
just
he,
ate so much.
He did just eat so much, but with advantage, he is like he's being a stubborn butt right now.
He's being a big ass.
Yeah, he's being a big ass. He continues to stomp towards the people.
She polymorphs him.
Whoop. Ha!
All right, what do you turn little ass into?
A frog.
I think that's a wisdom save. Yeah, he's not.
How
making
smart is
that.
it?
He's not making that outside of a nat 20. I don't think.
Yeah.
Close, but no.
Nice try.
As he stomps, the world gets bigger around him, and then as he gets to like the group of people that are starting to like panic and start to run away, as he's about to like take a bite, and his little frog mouth kind of wraps around the toe of one of them.
Nara is like mad. So even in the desert, there is like wafts of shadow coming off of her. She comes over and scoops up the little ass frog.
He croaks He croaks innocently in your hand and tries to not make eye contact.
Mama said no. You just had 12 lizard men. If Mama says you can't eat it, you cannot eat it. You're gonna get chickens instead.
And she will look at the people.
All right, you guys ready to go?
And as they go into the parallax, safe and sound for the moment, Lil Ass stays a little shame frog in your hand.
Shame frog.
Shame frog. All right, you are now unburdened by the sick and wounded.
All right, let's head off then.
Do you still want to ride Little Ass, or is he going to stay the shame frog?
He can only be the shame frog for about an
It's like a minute, right?
hour, up to an hour.
Oh,
So do you leave him the shame frog for the whole hour?
Oh, he'll be shame frog for the whole hour.
damn.
Mm-hmm.
Mama said no.
All right, keep close track of the time because he will become a large creature in your hand or on your head or wherever you're keeping him in a moment.
Oh, the minute he starts to like, she knows her polymorph spells pretty well at this point. So
yeah, you can feel when the spell starts to loosen before it does.
yeah, I'd imagine we'd be on steeds from Janir. Janir? What the fuck? Danir. And then Nara would probably ride in the back so that whenever he changes back, she can kind of toss him off to the side so when he gets big, she can ride on him instead.
Alrighty. Then you make your way through the desert. It's especially the circuitous route you're going to need to take. The sun definitely starts dipping well into the western horizon on your journey. In fact, it'll probably be well into the night by the time you make it back to the Wandering Weasel. So I'm gonna go ahead and give me some perception checks, guys, as you ride through the desert.
On horses with no names.
Wow. 30.
Man.
Jesus Christ.
13.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah?
Whoa! Natural 20.
Oh boy, let's see if it comes out.
Oh, for God's sake. Program. There it is.
Wee!
Nice.
Just took a little while. Dice was waking up. Oh, huh?
All right, it makes sense. Wolfgang, you're kind of on alert right now. Your brain might be wandering to a few different places. And Nara, you are riding the pixie stick, right? Or are you on the spectral steeds as well?
Whatever would work fastest. I think the spectral steeds were faster, and eventually she'll end up on Lilas.
Yeah, spectral steeds
Also-
are faster.
How many hours have we been traveling precisely?
It took you about 3.5 to 4 hours to get to the initial battle you were in. You had spent about an hour or so just kind of like coordinating there and conversing with Yorick. And at this point, you've probably been traveling for an additional 2 hours or so. In that time, from various vantage points and by noticing just the way the sands are moving in the desert, you were able to avoid a few conflicts, some just a horde of roaming scorpions, and the shifting sands that you would know to be the telltale signs of either some sort of a worm or maybe a bulet you were able to avoid as well.
Nice. So I've probably got about 4-ish hours left on Soul Cage.
Yeah, and if you want to do anything with that while you're riding.
I think I would. I think I would use the query soul function of Soul Cage, and I'm not sure how much this guy knows, but I'm going to ask him.
Does he need to speak your language?
The communication is telepathic, so no.
Okay, so it's all through feeling and... Okay.
Yes, you ask the soul a question and receive a brief telepathic answer, which you can understand regardless of the language used.
Okay.
The soul only knows what it knew in life, but it must answer you truthfully and to the best of its ability. The answer is no more than a sentence or two, and it might be cryptic. So, I'm going to ask... How should I word this? Is the real question. What do you know of the person, or what do you know of the being that can manipulate minds?
You see flashes. Let's see, I'm trying to remember back to that adventure. You see a lizard folk willingly take its own life. You see the flash of what appears to be not a tall creature, red of skin with large bat-like wings behind it, feminine in shape, sprightly in stature. And you get the sense that it is equal parts terrifying, but at the same time, comforting.
Because she's on your side.
If I am able to reflect back that, the answer would probably be no. It does not it does not see it as an ally. It sees it as something that is terrifying, but like comforting in the aspect that it is like a welcoming abyss.
Okay. That's all I'll do for now. I've still got I've got 4 more uses of this before time runs out.
And you said you had how much time left on it at this point? 2 hours into your journey?
About 5 hours.
Okay. You'll probably be able to make it back to the Wandering Weasel in that time. You're guessing at your current trajectory, though. I do need all of you to make survival checks as you are trying to navigate a relatively unknown
Alright.
land.
Survival, you said?
Yes.
10.
Since I'm constantly casting the ritual for this particular horse, do you want me to take it with disadvantage?
10.
Natural one.
Oh no!
I'll say
Wow.
no. I'll say no.
Okay. 12.
Yeah, with the shifting, like with the as evening begins to turn into night, the sands themselves become even harder to navigate, especially as you have probably drained through a lot of your water at this point. At a certain point, Denier, this journey is taking you longer than you expect. You spend probably another 2 hours riding in the night trying to get your bearings and figure out exactly which way you need to go. You would get a message from Venariel, Denier, asking, any update on your progress?
Do I have a kind of a general idea of where we are? How far we are from the weasel?
With those rolls, you have no fucking clue. Honestly, you could be there within minutes, or it could be another like hour, or maybe you passed it.
The sands are shifting too much for us to tell where we are. Worst case scenario, we can take them via teleportation circle back to Silver Rock.
She uses another spell. I would offer a beacon, but I'm afraid that would give away our location. Should we send a search party for you?
Before he replies, he looks over towards the group. Venario's asking about sending a search party after us. We might be a few minutes out. We might have already passed it. Who's to say at this point?
Oh. Wait. I have an idea.
She, hops off little ass and, gets on her pixie stick and goes straight up.
Nothing but sand, dark sand, kind of like as dark as, the lake waters at night stretch around you. You can see the mountains off to the east and some of the plateaus that you left behind you.
And where, based on how we got there initially, which direction was the weasel in comparison to the mountains and the plateaus?
It was at kind of like the fringe edge of some of the rocky outcrops of the mountains.
And that's, how far away are we from that? Does it look like we overshot, or?
From the mountain ranges, you are probably just south of some of the fringe outcropping, but it's give me another survival check.
Okay. 12.
Again, it's very difficult to tell from where you're at, especially at nights in an unknown land. You don't really have any tracks to follow, and there's no signal to really mark exactly where the wandering weasel is from here. You know that it's sticking out of a rock somewhere in this desert.
Comes back down.
Well, we're a little south of where I think the fringes are, but I don't know exactly. Kind of hard to tell. If she could give a subtle beacon, I could find it, but,
Anything that we would find, they would find too.
Right. Denier, you don't have a convenient spell for this, do you?
I have teleportation circle.
Hmm. Wait, why don't we just teleport back? Can't they go back on their own?
I'm sorry, are you suggesting that we just teleport and leave them behind?
I thought they had the same capabilities that you do, or no?
Oh, you're talking about Venario and the mages. I thought you were talking about the skinwalkers.
Weren't we discussing about how transporting that many people might end badly while they're in the parallax?
Only through the weasel.
Yeah, it was if you take them through the corridor, they would turn into jelly. But if it's teleporting them, and the teleportation circle is, the right
And it's
size
and it's only leaving the weasel that way, mind you.
yeah.
So if they came through the weasel that direction and then back that direction while also in the parallax,
Well, shit, why didn't we just do that?
it was always an option. I don't know.
Fucking... I misunderstood.
So did I.
So,
I mean, Denier, if we can teleport with these people in the parallax back to Silver Rock, and everybody that is waiting on us can also teleport back, we should just teleport back, right? I'm not missing anything, am I?
And
We
now
could
we
do
have
that.
I think so.
And now we have a chicken, a fox, and a hen. A chicken, a boat, and a hen. A fox scenario. Where do you put little ass during the teleportation circle?
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
Alright, so we take the people out, make the circle, put little ass in, send the people through, we go through, we let Venario know to continue the operation and get them out since we've secured the other people.
Will the
Sounds
circle
good to
last
me.
long enough to get all those people in?
It'll last for 6 seconds. They have to move fast.
You'll be able to get maybe half of them in that time.
How many times can you do that?
Given that it took us a while before we got rolling, I was able to recover a little bit of energy, aka arcane recovery. I can do it twice.
The difficult one's going to be the injured ones that move slower. And or can't move.
Alright.
Or you could just polymorph little ass, and we could just grab everybody and take everybody through immediately.
That too.
Oh, that also works.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Da-da-da.
You guys hold the parallax. I'm gonna make sure he is aware of his shame as a frog once again.
I will reply to Venario's message. We have no idea where the fuck we are. We're teleporting back.
Very well. We'll meet you back in Silver Rock. We'll begin operation.
And then I will burn a 3rd level slot to Red Screech. Currently lost in the desert. We have ways of getting back to Silver Rock. We're taking the people out now.
Hold on, the young lady is talking. Oh, you're saying the same thing.
I need to make a better sending spell.
Well,
And Denier will begin looking for a a good location to draw a 10-foot circle that's not in sand. Otherwise, he's going to wall of force and then draw the circle on top of the wall of force.
Finding a space that's not sand in the desert's going to be hard, so.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea.
You can make me. You can try to make me another survival check if you'd like to attempt.
Sure.
Is that all of us?
Sure.
18.
Daenerys
All
found
right.
Nat 1.
Daenerys managed to find a space that, I mean, while sandy, does have a hard, rocky surface beneath it.
4.
Oh my god.
We're just winners here.
Should I just rely on Denier for this one?
Yeah, Daenerys got it. He found a space.
Alrighty. Good. Didn't have to do.
Well, Nara just trips and falls into the sand.
Yeah, you were busy turning little ass into the shame frog.
Yeah. And getting everybody out. Getting them all organized.
Oh, they should stay in the parallax. That was the issue you were running into.
Wait. I thought we weren't allowed to do that before.
You can
Only in the
you can,
Wandering
you can,
Weasel.
you can teleport with them.
Oh,
in the
it was
parallax.
the weasel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
otherwise,
that's where the head smack duh moment
Oh,
came from.
that makes sense. Got it.
It was only the weasel, wasn't the.
Got it.
Yeah, and only if they did not enter through the, basically anything that did not enter through the key doorway cannot exit that way.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
We couldn't just teleport them immediately because they wouldn't leave without these people.
Okay.
But now
Well,
you have those people.
now I have a frog.
And little ass got to go on walkies and was turned into Shame Frog twice.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And sure enough, as you cast your spell, you glint off into the night. Woo. And as you zap through the portal, you once again find yourself in the, your teleportation circle is actually in the basement of the Arcane Academy. And you have a number of clerics and mages standing around waiting. You can tell that you kind of catch them by surprise as they're currently collecting themselves. They'd essentially been waiting since you left, and only now has something started to happen. So they start to rush in. They see that you're relatively battle scarred. Do you need some of the junior clerics and stuff wander over to you. Do you need assistance? Can we help you?
Focus on the civilians. Nara, pull them out. Get them off to the side. The others are going to be coming through soon.
As you say that, the sparks begin to ignite along the runic sigil as portal after portal begins opening in this large, spacious teleportation, this large, spacious room, and people begin streaming in as you begin letting the wounded out of the parallax. Those wandering in from from just outside of the Wandering Weasel and into the teleportation room. Families start to be reunited as many of the war-weary men start to run towards their women and children who are coming out of the parallax as they are kind of taken into the care of various mages and clerics and physicians as they're ushered away to triage, especially those who are most wounded, those that you were dragging on the shields. And with that, as everybody gathers once again in Silver Rock, and the mages pop in behind all of those left along with Tom, here is where we will take a break. Hey guys, Lani here. I just wanted to thank you for rolling with us, and if you wanted to catch us live, you can do so almost every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time over on twitch.tv/Lanipator. Now, back to the show. As the people of the Skinwalker tribe start making it out and into the safety of Silver Rock, they're rushed into triage, and you guys finally have some time to like find your way back out and up out into the city. Those that you see, getting ushered to the living quarters and areas where triage has been set up, you see their eyes just widen and kind of like glitter, clearly never having seen a space like this, having lived in essentially like caves and glorified huts throughout their known life. They had heard of places like cities. They had heard of the spectacle that is Oasis, but this is clearly many of their first time being in an actual city. As they're being ushered out of the Academy of the Arcane and towards triage, this isn't a very heavily trafficked area of the town, as it's kind of like off in the back corner, for a very specific reason. You're trying to make sure that if anything magically goes wrong, there's not going to affect the citizenry, though those that do frequent this area that are just kind of like wandering by do give, double takes at the people who are dressed in, torn leathers and rags, these very large people. The Skinwalker tribe seems to stand at least a head above the average citizen of Silver Rock. But you guys are finally left to your devices as they are being escorted to triage.
Before the Skinwalkers leave, Denier does warn them to be careful in the park around the giant tree. There is a nature spirit there, and she is very protective.
At the moment, what you have set up for triage and temporary housing is also effectively a quarantine zone.
Mm-hmm.
As
Fair.
You have essentially brought a bunch of lycanthropes and ursanthropes and whatever the scientific name for burdenthrope into your city.
Avian throat.
Yeah, avianthrope maybe? Corvanthrope? So yeah, currently they are going to be in a well-guarded, triaged area. But it is significantly better than where they were.
Which was about to be eaten by a dragon.
Yeah!
Yeah. Yeah.
Or enslaved.
That is also bad.
Probably, maybe a combination. Somewhere therein. Tom will actually wander out after you. Ah, civilization! He sniffs himself. Do you have a bathhouse around here?
We could probably get something arranged for you, and just as thanks for all of this.
He taps you on the shoulder. Don't worry. I'm calling in your tab.
Fair enough. Thank you, though. Again, this means a lot to me.
He smiles, the first genuine smile you've seen from him in probably a while.
Of course. Now, where are the baths?
He starts wandering into the city.
We've got like in the Adventurers Guild there's a bathhouse, right?
There are plenty of places that could probably serve as that. You do have a public baths works kind of in Midtown. The Adventurers Hall probably has somewhat of a sauna. The Kylum Diaboli also has a good, essentially a cleansing room / bathhouse.
Let's get in something special.
Yeah, you just have will you just have somebody usher him to a good place?
Oh yeah, I'll grab somebody and I'll be like, treat him as a guest. Important guest. Get him anything he needs.
Okay, sir. He just kind of like holds his breath and clearly is breathing through his mouth as he's talking to Tom. This way, sir. We'll get you all cleaned up.
Marvelous, dear boy, marvelous. So, did I ever tell you about the first time I came to the city?
As he walks off, his reeking breath just like aimed directly at this poor young Kylum cadet that you've sent him off with.
I'll see you after you're refreshed, Tom.
Oh, if he ever finds out who that is, he's gonna flip.
I'm gonna go to. Well, good day. Hit me up if you need anything, but I'm gonna be going to. I'm gonna be going heading to the sheriff's office. I go double check on some people here.
Right.
Alrighty. Asma just kind of gestures over his shoulder. Do you need me for anything, or can I head out?
I think we're good for right now. Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck to you guys with all the. Asma's gesturing to the optics of everyone scattering. Have fun with this. Have fun with this. Don't worry. I'll probably see one or two of them. Ugh.
Hopefully not.
Best of luck.
And then there were 3.
All right. Let's see. I've got this soul here. I can ask it something, or I can go ahead and try and get a glimpse of somewhere that it's seen in its life. Is there anything prominent that we might be able to look for? Any ideas? I've got a few.
We already know about who's helping. We already know what they look like for the most part. We already know... You already know what a number of places inside looks like.
That's true.
And we have eyes on the inside.
For now.
Oh, we've definitely got eyes on the inside. I don't see anything happening to that one. Nidhogg wouldn't let it happen. He cares about them too much.
Nara's eyes go wide.
Hey, I have to go take care of something.
How much is she looking left and right saying that?
No, it looks like something just dawned on her.
Go. Asmo's probably going to be taking a shower before long, so go ahead and catch him.
Yeah, and she runs.
Asma was going a different direction.
She is not heading the direction Asma went.
Where are you headed?
She is heading to find the guide.
Then yeah, you are in fact not heading the same direction. You are heading more southward. Asma was heading more westward.
Well, that's suspicious.
Everything she does is suspicious. Let's be real.
True. The only thing that I can think of right off the bat is any kind of delegations, any kind of location that, say, those delegates might be staying in so that we could get eyes on it, perhaps. Although they might be warding against scrying. If it's just, a grunt, we don't know. There's a lot of things we don't know that we might be able to counter. What ideas do you have?
Well, you're right, I have seen it before, but I don't know what the state of it is in this timeline. I was wondering what Nidhogg's lair might look like, what sort of activity might be going on
Of course, him being a dragon, I'm not sure if he'd be able to detect the sensor. If he's old enough to have that sort of unique extrasensory perception. I don't know. I'm also curious about what Bordish is doing. That whole situation just scuffs me the wrong way.
Sits with you a little bit weird.
I don't like it.
I don't blame you. The entire situation seems weird.
And the fact that it's on Ramsay's orders, what puzzles me the most.
Which makes you wonder, he knew about this before Reclamation Day. Because look, remember he came to us asking about Nidhogg. And right after, he sends her up a different way than the others.
Smacks to me as he's using her for leverage of some sort. Her being the draconic bloodline sorcerer that she is, might be compatible.
Right. Because in this timeline, they don't have our friend, and in the other one they did. So Nidhogg, the changes and everything that Nidhogg did, he couldn't do in this timeline.
That reminds me, actually, what's the deal with our future criminal? The one that we got tied up in that cell. We're gonna lax on his punishment a little bit, aren't we, in exchange for cooperation?
He said if we want to talk, he would like to be able to feel his arms again. Apparently, I think it's just a temporary thing. He wants to get his hands out of those shackles for a little bit. I suggested potentially a better food supply as a alternative, but potentially another privilege that we could give him.
Who ripped off his wings? I don't remember ordering that.
That happened before
yeah.
we got him. That was Harish.
Ah.
It was not Harish.
Oh.
All Denier knows is that he was like that when we got him.
Just want to make sure that nobody out there is getting wrong information.
Gotcha. Might be Tia, considering... eh. What the fuck? How do we keep finding ourselves in these situations?
I have no idea. I'm starting to think that we're just cursed. You know, a long time ago, back home, I always wondered why "May you live in interesting times" was considered a curse. Now, I understand.
Hmm.
Well, Wolfgang, things are starting to get close. It might be getting close to time for me to pull that trigger.
He sort of demeanor shifts suddenly at that, and he looks over at Denier. Yeah?
If you're going to do this, we're going to need the extra firepower. We're going to need somebody that's been there before. That's why I suggested Tom come along with us. Because I can't finish this by myself. I've been trying when I can, but I keep getting sidetracked.
A mixture of emotions washes over Wolfgang's face. He seems glad at the prospect of being able to see the familiar sort of presence of the Denier he traveled with. At the same time, worried because he doesn't understand what goes into all this. Well, you're the smartest cat I know. Sort of grins.
He gives a little grin as well. Hey, no matter what happens, I'm sure that you're going to be taken care of right proper. I mean, we're both going to be there, right?
Suppose so. He sort of claps him on the shoulder. All right. Well, guess we've got a lot of planning to do then.
Yeah. A lot of planning, a lot of preparation, and hopefully we can stop the world from burning itself.
That's what this is all about. Keeping the world from lighting on fire.
Yeah. I am glad to see that Elliot's going to be able to see the other side of his family now.
Yeah.
It'll teach him a few things.
Hey, you know, I told Jamad, if anything happened to me, go west. Whew, fucking boy, do those plans change. Oh well, at least he gets to meet his mother's people.
Absolutely.
Sure he'll be excited. Well, suppose there's not much more to it. We should start preparing.
Yep. I'm going to go treat my injuries because I feel like I'm about to die.
Right, yes. We're all pretty banged up after all that. I'm going to do some last minute checking in with everybody, and then I'll probably go home, have a meal, and then go to sleep.
Sounds like a plan. Remind me to kick York in the ass one good time for those javelins. And Denier turns and starts walking back towards the academy.
What will be your first stop, Wolfgang?
Wolfgang, did we see off all of the lycanthropes at their triage tents, and we've made sure for certain that they're all gonna be taken care of?
They've been escorted that way, yeah.
Okay. In that case, Wolfgang might just try to see if there's any last-minute business he needs to wrap up at the Kylum Diaboli before taking his leave. On the way there, though, Wolfgang is going to I'm just reading this real quick.
All good?
I remember seeing the guest quarters that Needhog had
Yeah.
when I was in the alternate timeline.
Meager though they were, yes.
Was that the same volcano though?
Same volcano.
That wasn't the
Sa-
volcano.
It was the same caldera. Yeah, the same one
Okay.
that Dokid used to live in.
I will use another use of the Soul Cage. I have 3 left. I'm going to use Eyes of the Dead. I can use an action to name a place the humanoid saw in life, which creates an invisible sensor somewhere in that place if it is on the same plane of existence you're currently on. The sensor remains for 10 minutes. As if you're concentrating on a spell, you receive visual and auditory information from the sensor, as if you were in its space using my senses.
Okay.
And I'm going to specify Needhog's guest chambers, I guess would be the proper.
The soul takes what you are asking it and interprets it as best it can to what it would consider to be chambers for a guest. You see in kind of a hollowed out, smoky cave, lit only by moonlight that seems to be shining through a very sheer curtain. You see the form of Bordish laying in not a very plush cot at all. It's a series of rags and animal skins, kind of like stretched across, almost hammock-like, sewn into a like kind of like hammered into some rocks. She lays on the furs. You can hear her humming to herself. Appears to be what you can only describe as some form of lullaby, maybe something that she heard from her childhood, maybe a song from a traveling bard, hard to say.
Sorry, this is Bardiche?
Yeah.
Okay.
As she's just kind of like staring up into the ceiling of the roof of the cave. You just hear the creaks of the swaying of her little animal skin hammock. The occasional ting of what sounds like a hammer in the distance. Maybe a few footsteps rounding some corners. The various hiss and chortle of the lizard folk language. As she just kind of hums to herself as she slowly closes her eyes.
How does she look? Does she seem content?
Give me an insight check.
Alrighty. Insight. 12.
At your best guess, she looks contemplative, restless for certain. It's fair. It's not exactly like late at night, but you can tell that she's starting to bed down. She appears to have quite a lot on her mind. Whether it's something that she's hopeful for or something that she's dreading, it's kind of hard to tell in the light that you are given through this little sigil that you are seeing through your mind.
Fair enough. I'll continue watching for the full 10 minutes.
As you continue watching for the full 10 minutes, you do get... let me actually see here. Okay. A visitor actually darkens her doorway. You hear coming from a distance away, you start to hear a ka-chunk, kee, ka-chunk, kee, ka-chunk, kee, ka-chunk. And the familiar rusted metal form of T-Wig darkens the doorway.
I think if Wolfgang were moving, he would just sort of stand still and pause for a moment.
When you expect to hear T-Wig's voice ring out, you hear the vaguely familiar tone of the more mature female voice echo from the very rusted and uncared for body of T-Wig.
Is there anything that we can provide for you?
Bardiche turns. No, I'm fine for now. Just looking to get some rest.
Are you sure? The experiments have seemed trying for you.
I can endure. It's for the greater good. It's for everything we've worked for. The eyes flicker. The eyes of the Arcanaton kind of like flicker between green and blue for a moment.
Well, if there is anything you need, all you need to do is ask.
Thank you. I'm fine for now. And with that, the form begins to creak-ka-tunk, 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 walk away. Make me a perception check.
Perception. 16.
You actually managed to see it as the body of T-Wig walks away. You catch the silhouette of the drow Yu skulking in the shadows behind it, briefly pausing in the doorway to glance inward, and then continues on. And as Bordiche again begins rocking and humming, your vision begins to fade on the scene.
Wolfgang will take a moment to readjust himself, and with a bit more up-to-date knowledge, he'll move on to his duties at the Kylum Diaboli.
You walk down the street and head into the gates of the Kylum Diaboli. Nara.
Yeah.
As you hurriedly make your way through the gates of the graveyard and down into the sanctum of the guide. Nothing appears to be off here. It's the same cold, dank crypts that you're used to. There's my catacomb noises. Yeah, the nice calming sounds of the catacombs surround you. The ambient breeze of the ambient hum of the breeze as it blows past its entrances rings in your ears. And as you make it to his chamber, you see him standing over a young Dedra who is kind of helping him dust off some gravestones.
Welcome back, Sister Nara. I take it your journey was a success.
Yeah, everything went pretty well, thankfully. I was just wondering, have you heard from Solomon lately?
The Master, he turns. Also, as you began to speak, Dedra would have looked up from her dusting and just kind of ran over to you and just kind of grabbed at your leg.
She would have, like, while still staring at the guide, like, felt around and picked Dedra up.
She would lean into you, eyes just still open and emotionless.
He has not chosen to contact me as of yet, no.
How long has it been?
He hasn't chosen to contact me since my departure,
What?
after he sent me. I would
Is that-
never... I have never questioned his motivations, but they are his own.
A way to, like, check in with him subtly, not involving me?
You know, if you wish to contact the Master, all you ever need do is pray. And if he is listening, he will answer.
Guide? I'm not talking about me.
I think we are. But for the sake of argument, what is it that would need to be checked on?
I word this. If something that once happened. Call it a premonition of sorts. If it happened again, it would be not great for us or the Master. And last I spoke with him, he said he was coming for a visit, and that was a while ago.
I believe he was referring to when he sent me.
Right. Which was how long ago at this point?
5 years?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
What is it that you fear shall come to pass, child?
Guess it's nothing you couldn't pull out of my brain anyway.
I wouldn't choose to.
Not you, Solomon.
He has many gifts, but unless we are speaking of torturous inquisition, he is not psychic.
Right. Do you know where he was last?
Let's see. When I left his side, he was at one of his northern outposts.
Oh, fun.
In that time, he could have changed to any number of them. I know he had his sights set on building a new one in the west, but he always got distracted.
I don't like this. This is not good. Can you please contact him? If it's me, it's gonna get weird and bad so fast.
What would I need to speak to him about? I don't know.
Let's check on him. Just see if he's okay.
Sister Nara. He is a god. Of course he is okay.
You don't know that.
Perhaps it would be easier for me to understand what perils lie ahead if you spoke plainly.
Do you know about Solomon?
As much as any of us.
You remember what made them awe?
Yes. I recall his descriptions, though I never laid my own eyes upon it.
There was a chance. Just roll with me here. That something of equal magnitude were potentially happening now.
Do you believe we are in need of his assistance?
We will be before long.
Then I will assure you, Lady Nara, it will not be my call that he heeds.
Whose would it be?
He looks at you.
Come on, we don't have a great relationship exactly, and I don't really want to talk to him.
Then clearly things are not as dire as you claim.
You are so frustrating.
The being he described to me was a destroyer. A being of immense destructive force and nature. I am but a will of Lady Death. Destruction is a piece of that territory. After all, where would life come from if but a blank slate were not provided?
Fine. I'm gonna call him, but you have to watch Dedra, and you have to make sure that he doesn't try and kill her.
We both know I have no sway over the Master's will.
Well, then take her outside for a minute. If you can't see her, at least you can't bother her right now.
If I may but pry her from your side. Child
Dedra?
Dedra, would you like to
better go with him.
and help me arrange the flowers on the fresh graves?
She looks at you for a moment, Nara, and as you
She
set her
gives
down,
a little nod.
she nods and takes the guide's hand, who, with his long, lanky arms, begins floating out as she kind of waddles alongside him.
I do this, I don't want to 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 do this.
That's what I say every morning when I wake up.
Okay. She does a full body shake and sits down.
Right. Let's do this.
And she will focus her thoughts towards Solomon.
You begin to reach out through the ether. What do you say?
Solomon? You okay out there?
No response.
Solomon, we got problems. Big ones. Ones you might be familiar with.
Persuasion with disadvantage.
12.
No response.
Remember what made the maw?
Persuasion.
25 if it's still with disadvantage.
Nope, regular.
28 then.
At 28, you start to feel a chill run up your spine. A familiar burning cold kind of starts surrounding your flesh. You definitely have his ear.
Bleeding God? Kinda back.
Through the inky blackness of your closed eyes, you begin to see a familiar glowing skeletal face. It's been a long time, Nara. Let's see. 6 years? 7?
5. Just 5.
Just 5. Wow. Guess time doesn't fly that much, huh?
Yeah. You haven't come across any weird squid face things, have you?
Yeah, one I obliterated and threw it in my menagerie. Why?
Why did you... Is it still in there?
Yeah?
Have you checked on the menagerie?
What business is that of yours? He just kind of sighs and just like looks to the side, like he's not being lectured here.
That squid face. Mm. It has mind control powers, and it doesn't matter if it's dead.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it. It's cool.
Yeah, but you won't be able to stop it when it it's gonna control the entire menagerie. I mean, go and look for yourself. It's a nightmare.
Oh no. Bunch of undead creatures running around the desert. Whatever will I do?
Well... Fine. You have a point. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Well, they suck to fight.
What did... Wait, did you kill it? Hold, I
No.
just fucking made that
I
thing a
did
couple
not.
years ago! I just made it, Nora!
I didn't kill it! It's still alive, alright?
Okay. Then what's this about? You said there was something, like an issue. The fucking thing at the bottom of that...
Yes, the crystal thing. It's a thing. It's a problem again.
What, is it moving? Did it kill Bright Eyes?
No.
Fuck. Well,
You
what's
need
it doing?
to stop hating him so much. Goodness.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't exactly have a good relationship with the guy that Daddy sent to be a good little do-gooder, okay?
Yes, I understand that position very well.
And what's it doing?
It's like... It's still sentient. It's not, like, dead, but it's, like, giving people powers and they're using it for weird stuff. There's demons.
I'm aware of that.
What do you mean you're aware of that?
What, do you think I make you people just to entertain me? No, you guys keep me informed.
Who's telling you?
Your brothers?
Wait, they're working with them?
No, they work for me. I keep tabs on shit and get them to kill things that I want dead. You know, bodies. Like that one your boyfriend's supposed to be supplying. Where the fuck are those, by the way?
I will get you more by the end of the week, alright?
You're a little fucking behind schedule.
Yes, I'm sorry, there's been a lot going on.
Nah, sure there is. From what I
trying to talk to
understand, you
your
got a
mom
whole.
more, by
From
the
what I
way.
understand, you got that whole city up there right now. You know how many bodies are in that city? Got a pipeline right there. Nobody's gonna miss one or two of them just going missing per day.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of like these ones.
Ugh.
It's cool to watch them walk around and do stuff.
You were always like this. You always had your little pets. They're meat.
Yes. I get that, but I like when they choose what they do with it.
You don't need all of them,
I get that.
do you?
So, wait, So you know about what's going on with the Northerners and the demons and all of that.
Yeah?
You know that's connected to Bleeding God stuff, right?
Kind of pretty easy to put two and two together on that one since, let's see, it was your boyfriend, the cat man, and Bright Eyes that came up here yakking about that shit years ago.
Fine. Fair. I'm just glad you're okay. Mildly.
He seems taken aback by that, actually.
Well, I mean,
No, yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. Of course I'm okay.
well, I didn't know.
Well, what, did you assume otherwise? What would hurt me, Nara?
I don't know, okay? Well, I do, but I don't.
Something feels different about you, by the way. I don't... It's like a... Got a weird vibe.
Yeah, well, big shocker. 5 years have passed. And I was the first one to call. Talk. Whatever.
Well, do it more.
You too, then.
Maybe I will.
Fine.
I'm gonna go check on that squid thing. If it's fucking dead, it's your ass.
It's not gonna, well, it's not gonna be, like, dead.
No, if it's not how I left it.
They're really annoying to fight. I hope you know that. Like,
Yeah,
really
that's why I
very
built
annoying.
them.
I know. I'm just letting you know that
I took three of them and I mushed it into one. It was freaking out. Honestly, you would have laughed. It was like its little tentacle things. It didn't know what to do. It did not know what was happening.
I know. It looked really funny.
It's so dumb. Like, you just take three of them and you put them together, and they're like, "Ah, what am I? Oh, I was already a collective. Now what the ah!" It just freaked out. It was like dancing on its back for hours.
Oh my God,
It
what?
was hysterical.
Wait, for how long?
Hours.
Wow.
And then it just stares, and it got boring after a while, so I left.
Yeah, they kind of have this, like, hive sentience, so they probably just, like, figured it out after a minute.
Yeah.
But that's what makes them dangerous. That's why whatever. I've been trying to talk to your mom, by the way.
So that's what that feeling is.
Yeah. Wait, you feel that too?
She's got like an aura. Something that I can't touch. Or vibe. I don't know. It's different.
Well, good. I'm trying to talk to her about some stuff, and we're gonna figure some stuff out. I don't have words for it because she doesn't really talk. So.
Tell her I say hi, I guess.
I will.
Okay then.
Okay.
And he's gone.
That music's so scary. Now back to music that doesn't frighten us.
Nara, like, flops on the ground.
Holy fuck, that was horrifying.
Tango Muerte you didn't notice this while you were praying, but it has been kind of like jiggling at your side, and then it just stops.
Yeah. Solomon says hi. Hello? Solomon says
feel-
hi.
You feel emanating from the blade this strange combination of, like, it's this ridiculous paradox of elation and sorrow, and it emanates it in such a wave that you can't help but feel an actual tear kind of trickle out of one eye.
So you're sad that he's alive in the state that he's in, but you're glad that he cares? And that he says hi?
Give me an insight, I guess. Like, this is a very strong empathic connection you're feeling right now, so just a general insight. Actually, with
Natural
mind.
20, 27.
Oh
so,
my god.
what you feel is a feeling that Nara has certainly never felt. Maybe I don't know if she's ever felt anything close to it, but this feeling of a mother's love just kind of washes over you. This feeling of a separation that can't be overcome. This feeling of joy of being able to be connected to her son using you as a conduit has invigorated the spirit of death in a way that you have never felt before. She is immensely grateful, and you feel as though your rapport is vastly improved due to this experience.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, and I'm glad he's not dead, and we'll probably deal with that menagerie before I have to. Ugh. Anyway, let's go get Dedra.
As you stand up and wipe the uncomfortable wetness from beneath your eye, you head up and out of the crypts. And here is where we'll end today's session.